Hello guys, hello everyone. Welcome to anyone that is joining. I want to start the readings very soon because I have a doctor's appointment later, so I have to finish this earlier. But yeah, I'm going to let you know who I have on my list for today. These are Pisces idols, artists. I have Riize Wonbin and Eunseok. Then I have WayV Ten, the Boyz Kevin, Ive Leeso, Taeyeon of Snsd, Japanese singer Kenshi Yonezu or Joresu. I never understand my handwriting when it comes to Japanese artists. I don't know why when I wrote it down, I just there's something about the way I write the name, the last name specifically, and I don't understand if it's like an R or an N. I think that is Jonesu. And then I have Nmixx Haewon. So yeah, these are the people that I have for today. We are entering Pisces season, so this is the season of many Pisces idols that we have. So yeah, let's begin. I'm going to shuffle a bit the oracles. Okay, I'm going to begin with the first Pisces for today, Riize member Wonbin. Let's see for him what's available for him in the next month. Yeah, a lot of work. Oh, a lot of work. Very hardworking person also. His progress is slow, but he's always working on something, practicing. A lot of reflection probably in 2026 for him. We have the Seven of Pentacles for Wonbin. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Two of Wands in the middle. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. Is he working on a solo? Is he having like a solo something? Maybe it's Riize, but I can see him individually reviewing something. And then from the Oracle of the Earth's Wisdom, we have the card of Heal Thyself. This is very Pisces. Heal yourself. Yeah, actually, I feel it something. This is why I'm very, especially with the Two of Wands here in the middle. I see him just, looking at his possibilities, but more like looking ahead, like, okay, what is to come? He's more like reflecting on what is available or what is going on around him. I think that he's trying to remain sorry guys, that I have to I had my notification sound on, and I don't want it to interrupt the readings. he's more like looking within. I think that he's feeling very sensitive this year, and it all has to do also with improvement with him. He had always been working, so I think that this is bigger than him just being like, oh, I'm sort of like fantasizing and losing myself in perceptions. um I think that there's something just just very expansive about the way he views where he is right now at the moment and where he's going. So, and he has a lot of opportunities. So I think that in this sense, he's a very lucky person. He's a very lucky man that he has possibilities. But at the same time, he's like, okay, I will not rush to make a decision this year. I will just observe and take my time to choose. This is why I'm like, I don't think that he's like a chaser, someone that chases the opportunities. The opportunities just flow towards him very smoothly. I think that his life had always been like this. It's about him waiting for the perfect timing or waiting for the perfect or the right opportunity to come to him. This feels very spiritual, but I think that he's a great observer of potentials. There's something about him being like, yeah, I'm very lucky. I've always had options. I always had more than one option. So, but he's not, he's not someone that rushes to make a decision. And also he understands that he probably wants to be in this business for a very long time. So this is why he's not rushing. He's not rushing to be, the most popular, know that everyone is talking about him. He doesn't want this sort of instantaneous kind of popularity. No, he wants to build something. He still has his eyes on, I think that he's a perfectionist in that sense. He's like, I'm still an artist in development. I'm not perfect, but I want to be. So it feels just so very inspiring. It feels like I see him just like him looking at his options or his life and being like, there's so much I can do. And there's so much that I'm not paying attention to. So I should be able to expand my perception. First of all, because we have the card of heal yourself. Heal yourself. So I think that also his well-being is going to be a priority this year, and maybe if there's some kind of trauma or if something happened in the past or in his career or at the beginning of his career where maybe he was hurt or he was either, it could be physically him getting hurt or emotionally, mentally, him being affected by something. I don't know if there was like a rumor or something that somehow threatened his possibility or his trust or his confidence. I think that he's like, this year I also have to heal certain aspects of myself that I'm still not recovered fully. So I think that he's like, I have to keep investing in myself. I am important. So I also have to go back to me and take care of me and make me a priority. I think that he's highly perceptive and very connected with himself. It feels like this is like a person, an artist that is so much more deep than than an idol. Like, and I don't want to talk about idols being deep or what kind of deepness they possess. But in the case of Wonbin, it feels like in order for him to advance, he's like, I have to learn to see beyond. I have to learn to see possibilities. Because sometimes, he probably gets a bit dizzy because he gets a lot of possibilities or he gets a lot of different ideas. A lot of people talk to him, so he can get a bit confused. Like, he is a guy, and this is something that I want to say because, we're talking about Pisces man, but he has a lot of pentacles. usually Riize and Riize members, they do have the Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and in this case for Wonbin is like this. His process is going to be slow but steady. So I think that this is why he's like, sometimes people want to distract me from my path or from my work or from my possibilities. This is why I have to be smarter. I have to pay attention. I have to look at the whole picture. I have to be curious. I have to be, learn how to ask the proper questions. I have to be smart. I have to be awake. But I think that there's something about this. This feels also very responsible of him, and him being like, I'm not that ignorant. I actually know about things and people. It's just that he probably prefers for things to be slow. I think that he's like, if you talk to me all like, oh, like in a rush, I don't understand. So can you please, slow down so I can understand better? It feels like he needs, everything around him to be organized. And there's moments where he gets easily confused when you don't have like a proper order, when you give him ideas. He needs his time. He needs his time. And also, I think that there's something about his evolution that I don't know if in the past people judged him and they were like, we don't know if actually he's going to be able to do better or to be better or to evolve in something. And actually he is. It's just that maybe he's like these people that they are like some kind of late bloomer, that it takes a while for him to get there. But once he gets there, he's the most successful, consistent, and talented person. He's very resourceful, very hardworking. It's just that his timing or the pace where he does things is just very slow. It's very slow. But this is why I'm like, is he having a solo? I believe that probably there's a comeback very soon, because I see activities in the middle. But there could be something else for him, for him especially, that he's like reviewing. He's like observing. He's like, okay, I understand. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So see a lot of work, a lot of rehearsals, a lot of practice, a lot of like perfection. Like I have to do this better. I have to be better, and I see him getting there slowly, silently, but very consistently, just getting to his goal. I think that he's a very, he's a very resourceful person. And also I think that he does magic with the little things that he's been given, because I don't want to say like, oh, they don't give him enough. I think that they do give Wonbin good things, but also they also give him false promises, or maybe they give the group false promises. So it's more about him being very hardworking or being talented or skillful, that he or the group makes it work or makes it look better than it actually is. So it's all about, his involvement. It's not so much about like, oh yeah, because we, the company invests in us. No. I think that they make it look good, or they make it look like abundant, but it's not like that. It demands a lot of perfection from the artist. But yeah, heal thyself, also, don't forget about himself, take care of himself, take care of his body. I also have a lot of pentacles here. So there's something about him also investing in maybe having like a better lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, maybe starting a sort of treatment or a sort of routine that can work better for his energy, so he can recover better. But I see that he's okay, actually. His cards are very positive, are all about improvement. But I think that the cards are very like slow. They're like, yeah, this year is going to be my year, but I'm taking my time. He's not right. He's not a member. He is ambitious. He is an ambitious person. This is why he's in the industry. But he's not in a rush to prove anything. He just wants to be better. better than the last time, you know, and I think that he's very committed, he's very devoted to processes. Hello guys, sorry, I'm like coughing like crazy because sorry, I don't know if there's a bit of dust in here. I did clean today, but I think that something moved all of a sudden, and it got, I think that it was like there's a bit of dust or something that it got stuck in my throat. Okay, now I'm going to continue with the other Pisces in Riize Eunseok. Okay, for Riize Eunseok. Is Eunseok okay? Also, both of them got the cards of healing, so they are emotionally recovering from something. Okay, for Eunseok, we have the Knight of Swords, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Justice in the middle, we have the Nine of Wands, and we have the Hierophant. And then I have the cards of Healing Grief. Healing Grief. So I have the Five of Cups here. Did he lose someone? Sorry, guys. There's something about grief. There's something that he lost. There's something that he lost. Or maybe he's in the process of saying goodbye to someone. So it feels like maybe it's not like he's like, oh, I'm so close, but it affects him emotionally. And it sort of, he talks about grief, you know, about you being in this period of grief. Maybe regretting not being there, not being able to make it, not having time, trying to rush to send a message or something, but it doesn't, it's not enough. I think that him, like emotionally, he is affected by something. You know, the cards in where he starts, it feels very, very sad. Like I feel misunderstood. Like there's a lot of regrets that I have, and no one understands what I'm going through. So, and also in the middle we have the Justice. So it feels like this year is all about responsibilities. It's all about him having to play his role, you know, for the group, for the company. I see the company here. So they will be demanding a lot from Eunseok, or there's something about him, you know, maybe emotionally not being, you know, that connected or not being that I think that he will be fair. He will play his part the best he can, but there's a bit of grief in here. I don't know if he lost an opportunity or he's about to lose an opportunity, and this also adds a bit of sadness, a bit of him being a bit sad or disappointed. But the Justice in the middle is all about order, you know, it's all about him probably trying to organize, you know, maybe if this is like a personal matter of his, or if this is something that is so only happening to him, There's something about him collecting himself and just being very proper, and just trying to catch up with the rest and not bother others, or just keeping it to himself. It feels like he's very mature. I don't know if he's like the oldest, or it feels like he's very mature for his age, or there's a bit of seriousness in his aura. It feels like there's something about him being like very much like, this is my duty. It feels like him being in the military, him being very strict with himself, being very honest, being very, like, no, I have to do my part, this has to be perfect. I have to be fair to others. People are waiting for me. People are waiting for the group. So he doesn't let himself, get sensitive, I would say. He's very different from Wonbin's aura. Wonbin is also a Pisces. But I what I sense from Eunseok is that he is more like a more strict, kind of serious, even kind of Pisces. He's a Pisces that he doesn't feel like a Pisces. It feels like he restricts himself a lot, or he tries to not bother others, with his personal matters. He's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need anything. I'm okay. I don't need anyone. Like, he just picks himself up again. And he probably tries to wear, like, I don't want to say like he wears a mask, but there's something about he keeping like, like a very, like a poker face, and just being like, well, this is reality. This is what happens, But I think that there's something, with the Nine of Wands and the Hierophant, that I think that at some point, SM could, push a bit. They could ask a lot of him, honestly. And I don't think that he's in the right mindset to be asked to do more of what he already does. But I think that SM, it's a bit like specific on him. I don't know if they push him to like, oh, you have to do better, or you have to do more, or you have to be more of this, or you have to follow more what the others are doing, or if there's a bit of, could it be that there's like a ranking among the members, like a sort of ranking of impact, who is the most popular and why, and you're supposed to have like a monthly evaluation where they are like, well, you haven't fulfilled the standards of what we wanted. We wanted you to improve. We wanted you to be different, and you're not making it, so you have to do better. So I think that SM is a bit like on his neck, I would say, specifically. I think that they will continue to do this for him in particular. Because it feels heavy. It feels like responsibility. Of course, that being an idol, it must have a level of responsibility. But I think that for him, it feels heavy, and I think that he's probably someone that he just takes criticism. He's like, okay, well, yeah, you're right. I should do better. And he just, doesn't express his true feelings. There's something about him, not wanting to confront certain things, or not wanting to confront certain people. Also, with the justice in the middle, I wonder if the treatment is fair, because I have the justice in here, and I hope that he does get a better treatment if this is not the case for him. But I think that I don't think that it's about favoritism, because when I read for Wonbin, I also don't think that there's favoritism for Wonbin either. I think that it's more than, there's something different about Eunseok. I don't know if was he always wanted, like, what is his beginnings? Where does he come from? Because it feels like his background is very different from music. So I think that his energy is just very different. Very different. So there's like something about him that he seems like he's one of the others, but he's not. Because I also don't see there's like artistic, like Pisces, like artistic, sensitive kind of vibe. I don't feel it in him. I actually feel him very stiff, very, very structured, very serious, very, very like a bit cold, I must say, calculative, very like, very responsible. This is why he's giving me older brother, or, a very, like a soldier. There's something about that he's giving me like soldier, soldier, or like I don't know, like police force, like knight, something like this. It feels very like I will protect you, but it's not like, oh wow, I'm feeling so artistic right now. But yeah, maybe he's different from the others. Yeah, with healing grief, yeah, there's something in him, I don't know if it's personal, but I think that he needs also to focus on this. Maybe he's a bit moody, or he could be in 2026 a bit sad or a bit disconnected, but I think that he should, try to find a way to release that, but as you know, grief can take a lot of years. Like, it can be something that happened a lot of years ago and we don't know. So when it comes to grief, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's losing someone now. Probably it happened and he is just dealing with this another year. No loss for Eunseok. Okay. But he regrets something. This is why I'm like, what is his career background? Did he give something up for being in this group or something like that? Okay, I'm going to continue with them. WayV Ten. WayV Ten. Very powerful 10. This is a very Pisces reading. now I'm adjusting. Okay. Queen of Swords for 10. 10 of Wands. Knight of Cups in the middle. We have the Emperor. And we have the Strength card. And then we have practical intuition for 10. For 10. I love this. For WayV Ten. Yeah, this is a man that he knows. He knows that he has the gift. He knows that he has the gift. He uses, this is why we have a practical intuition. This is someone that he uses his intuition in this business. He probably is very intuitive, or he's like very connected like this. He's like, okay, yeah, I try to base like some important decisions on my intuition. And I think that he had nailed it in the past. And I wonder if people ask for them to somehow give them advice, because his intuition is very sharp and it's ready to work. His intuition is like, this intuition, or this talent that he possesses, is going to continue with him forever. So, the more he uses it, he probably is going to do very well. It is going to open, paths. It doesn't have to be, creeping, or, I think that he's not afraid of his intuition. He's not afraid of his ability to see beyond. This is why I'm like, this sort of resonates with a Pisces person, Pisces man slash artist. Yeah, the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Wands. I wonder if he dealt with a woman lately, or if he had, like, I don't know, one of the managers or one of the people that manages maybe the group, or maybe himself, or someone he associated himself with in the past. This person has, somehow, had been very difficult or is difficult to work with. So I wonder if this person is going to go very soon and sort of give Ten the possibility and the room for him to manage things on his own. Because I see that she has a lot of projects. She probably has to manage Tens as well, or she has to manage the group, and she cannot do everyone. She cannot do everything. So it feels that probably he didn't have like a good relationship with this woman. This is a woman in power, definitely someone very intelligent, probably someone very experienced, but overworked at the same time. Overworked, or someone that has a lot of responsibilities, or someone that has like a lot of, a lot of work. So she is not able to see or to guide Ten to the next level, or to, help him build his vision or his next project. So I think that this woman should step aside. I think that there could be a conflict with this woman. Maybe she is going to mess up something, and that's going to be reason enough for him to be like, well, let me work on this myself. If she's so busy, or if she's so like, distracted by other responsibilities, I will handle this myself, because I think that he has the potential of leadership. I can see it here. And I think that in 2026 is a year where, I think that I can see Ten moving towards this kind of ownership, authority, and him probably starting to take more decisions, or get more in the decision making of his new future or of his next projects. I have the Knight of Cups, in the middle. So he's someone that he's very used to dealing with powerful people. Like he has a very direct relationship with CEOs, or with managers, or with teachers, mentors. He knows very important people, and he's really good at adapting. Whoever I'm with, I change. I can be with the most I don't know, a powerful person in the room, and I know how to talk to them, or I know how to, navigate the conversation. And if I'm talking to, a colleague of mine, a pair of mine, I also know how to somehow, be more humble, or be more me, or be more real, or be more goofy. I think that he's just very Pisces in this sense, and probably this is going to be very attractive for Ten to start building his own empire, I would say, because I can kind of see, him aligning with, a CEO, or with someone very powerful, someone that is already like an owner, is already an authority, and I can see him, just starting to more associate with these powerful people. Or him taking advices or lessons from the powerful, and him being like, okay, I'm on my way. Okay, now I'm paying attention. Now I'm taking notes. His whole reality, it seems like it's going to change. I think that he needs to train more his leadership, because he's going to need it. It's just that probably it's going to be slow. And he also has to know, because the emperor is also a very prideful figure. So this is why, when I see him as this Knight of Cups, him trying to be very charming, a good listener, just very polite, understanding. Because sometimes when you deal with powerful mentors or people that they think that they know it all, even though, yes, they do possess the knowledge, but they can be a bit old-fashioned. So I think that Ten is going to keep advancing in his career and sort of like getting used to the idea of like, okay, this is them, this is how they behave, this is how they run things here, so I have to adapt. I have to be nice, I have to be understanding, I have to go with the flow. And I think that he's going to do very well in his career, because I think that there's like an important possibility for him. There's like an important position for him. This is why he has to have like the best relationship he can with this man, with this emperor, or with this enterprise, or with the leader of this enterprise or this organization. But I have the strength card, so there's you have to be very patient. He has to be very patient, very smooth, because this person probably has like a fragile ego. So you cannot act like, oh yeah, I know. No, you have to act like, oh my God, tell me more, something like this. Like, oh, I admire you so much. You're the best. But I think that he's going places. Definitely, I see Ten evolving. Yeah, in being guided by his intuition, practical intuition. I think that he's going to be in the right rooms with the right people. It's just that, yeah, he has to be strategic, because these people are a bit, they are very greedy. The emperor is someone that can open doors for you, but also if they get upset, they can close them just as fast. So you have to be very strategic. He was casted on the streets. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to continue with the Boyz Kevin. Very nice for the Boyz Kevin. This is another one that is truly Pisces. The Hierophant, the King of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Justice, and the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the card of understanding from the Oracle. Understanding. So yeah, it feels like, when I saw the King of Cups, I was like, he's so understanding of the company specifically. I was like, he's so understanding about maybe the rules or the way the company is conducting themselves. I think that he's actually doing very well. I know he was in hiatus. I was told that he was in hiatus for a while. But he's actually like so happy right now. I think that's something he maybe needed a break, or he needed a timeout to understand certain things, maybe about his life, maybe about this business, maybe about his career, because yeah, we have the card of understanding. So I think that definitely Kevin, it's a very Pisces thing. He's showing me here, his ability to somehow understand or trying to understand and being compassionate of everything that is going on, especially with certain rules and regulations. And when it comes to maybe the management, he's not being judgmental at all. I don't know what people, think about Kevin or his perspective about the company, but I think that he has changed. There's something about that. If he had like a bit like a rough relationship with the company, I think that something changed, that now he's seeing the company under different eyes. He's also feeling very grateful. So I wonder what they given him or what they did for him. Because he's like, maybe is the possibility of taking a break. Maybe is, I think that he was able to reconcile with the company. There's something about him being like, when I needed this, they given it to me. So he's like, he's not like saying like, oh, this company is the best. No, but there's something about him being like, well, if I had certain differences with them before, now I can kind of understand better. Because there's a lot of like, he's so happy. We have the 6 of Wands in the middle. So there's victory for Kevin. So I wonder he's going to achieve something, if he's going to achieve something either with the group or him being a soloist or him getting like a sort of deal or something that he really wanted. I think that they did something for him, that he feels so victorious. He feels so happy. He's like, wow, thank God, that I'm getting this. This is my dream. This is what I wanted. So I think that Kevin is happy. Kevin is going to be celebrating, maybe a personal victory of his. I don't know about the group, because it could be the group, but also I feel it like it's something personal of his. So he's feeling very victorious. He's going to tell people about this, because the 6 of Wands is like, guys, I overcame this, like maybe in the past I was sad, but now I'm not sad. Now I'm understanding things. Now my perspective has changed. Now I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling liberated. I'm feeling so fulfilled. He's feeling like a champion. So I think that we should wait for Kevin to give us the news, or to give us an update about, his well-being, or how he's doing, or his future projects. Because I think that something great is coming for him, and I see him working on something. So, Justice, Knight of Pentacles, again, something slow. But the Justice, like, finally, that I wanted, or, they are maybe taking my ideas more into consideration, so I can work differently, so I can move towards my purposes differently. I see that this is a man with, maybe a lot of tasks or goals or aspirations to fulfill in 2026. But his mindset has totally changed. His mindset, maybe in the past, he felt a bit overwhelmed, or he felt like, there was no way out. But now he's like so different. He's so different. His view, his perception of this situation, and I think that it has to do with maybe the company, or it has to do with the institution. Like I always tell you, this could be, either, I don't know, him going to a hospital, him going somewhere, an institution where he got really good feedback, or where he found faith. It could be literally a church. But I think that Kevin has changed. There's something about maybe his faith has been renewed. It feels like he found his meaning again. And it's going to show. It's going to show how, positive he's going to be looking, and he's going to be shining. And probably when he talks to the fans, he's going to sound very I don't want to say philosophical, but he's going to sound very like optimistic himself. Just that I don't see him talking that much. It's more about exposure. It's more about work. So I think that more than saying something, he's going to show up. He's going to be working, and maybe people will see his new attitude and just, seeing the I don't want to say evolution because it's about, him being more understanding. I think that he has softened, there's something about him, getting more into his feelings and just allowing himself to feel more and owning his emotionality and owning that things changed, but that he has found like a brand new vision of things, instead of complaining. I don't want to say complain, but he's not seeing the negative anymore. He's like so confident. He's so confident and so triumph, so positive. So yes, I love it for Kevin. Okay, I'm going to continue with Ive Leeso. Ive Leeso. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, a lot of creativity. I love it because for Ive members, I've been getting like the most like strong, powerful, and prosperous cards ever. And for Leeso, I have the same vibe. 8 of Wands for Leeso, 9 of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands in the middle. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the 7 of Cups. And then I have from the Oracle, I have the card of creativity. So she's feeling super creative. She's feeling so inspired, and also creativity, and I have the Queen of Wands in the middle. So more creative than this, like she's literally on fire. She's like, wow, I have new ideas. I have like a new vision. I have a lot of things that I want to do, a lot of things that I want to show. I want to show you my creative process. I want to show you this. I want you to see me, like, look at me, look at me, look at me. This is a very fiery kind of Pisces. This is, if she's a Pisces, this is not like the typical sensitive kind of Pisces. No, she's more like I want to create. I want to create, and she's feeling so inspired. I think that her reality has changed in a couple of maybe months, maybe last year. She started a certain like a glow up or like a growth. Because we know we have the 8 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. So there's something about her gaining much more confidence and maybe, gaining more individual activities, or her being able to show herself more. The 9 of Pentacles is giving me like, yeah, I'm doing things independently, or I'm being shown here and there, and it's just me, or it's me and another member. But I think that she feels like, oh, I'm so grown now, that I can go to places and I don't need to hide behind the others. I can sort of go and present myself. And I think that she feels so proud of herself. She's like, I'm loving the spotlight. I knew I could do this. She's feeling so confident. She has grown so much. And also the feedback is great. Maybe people are also noticing her growth, how her talents or different aspects of herself. And this is sort of like adding more fuel to her energy or to her desire to be seen more, to be, the protagonist of her own life, and probably being like, I don't know if she's like the center, because I know that in Ive we have, we have Wonyoung, then we have, Eugene, that is the leader. We have the other girls. We have Liz, the other girls. so they all have this strong aura, but it feels like for Licio, there's something, with the Queen of Wands, that this year she's going to be unstoppable. Like, she's going to be the center. She's going to show this creativity, this maturity. She's going to take more risk, or she's going to be much more, show her passion about something, about something that it has to do with creation. And I think that she had been practicing. I think that her growth or her evolution is not like overnight. No, she has been slowly, acquiring certain spotlights or certain moments to show herself, and she had like somehow she had gotten used to the feeling of being in the spotlight, or being the protagonist, or being like the main event, or the main girl, not just one of many. No, in here, it's me, and I'm shining, and I think that it makes her feel special, and it makes her want to go for more in this 2026. And I think that she will. I think that she's so passionate. She's so driven. She's so excited. At the same time, she's so honest about, like, I really want to make it big this year. I really want the spotlight, and I will take it. I will take the spotlight. So the other girls have competition, because she's going to try to, maybe get more fans or attract more people. I don't know, but I think that her allure, or her attraction, or her ability to attract, is going to also rise. So yes, it's going to be great. Yeah, we have again the Ten of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Cups. So I can also see like maybe like I don't know if it's the company that she's under, or maybe this is another institution, like a luxury brand, or another network, or enterprise that they want to work with her. I think that she will have the possibility to choose, like, okay, who I work for now. Besides her being part of Ive, I see like a project, or individual project, where she has to go to this place, that this place has legacy, this place has a great reputation. So she's like, well, I kinda want to try it there. I want to go there. So I also see her accomplishing this, but she can get actually a lot of like opportunities, so I think that the year is still young. I can see her just reviewing, possibilities. But yeah, creativity. I think that this is a great year for her, a great year where she has to listen to that, that side of herself, where she's like getting more and more connected with being creative. And she's like, wow, I want to learn this, or I want to do more of this, and I want to be more of this, and I want to do more, and I want to connect with this. And this feels genuine. This feels like she's not in a race, she's not competing with anyone. It's just that it seems like she's unblocking her own potential, that she had always had this. It's just that maybe this year she's feeling much more confident, of like, okay, I have to do it. Like, I think that she wants to be independent. There's something about her being like, I don't want to rely on others to create. I want to create my own thing. Okay, I want to continue with SNSD Girls' Generation Taeyeon. Let's see for this year. Let's see for her Pisces season. These Pisces idols, they need a lot of healing this year, because they got a lot of a lot of like a lot of healing cards. Also, there's a lot of conflict around Taeyeon. A lot of conflict. Like I think that somehow it seems like the conflict chases her, and she doesn't back down. You know, she's not someone that she's like, well, no, no. She's not the typical Pisces. She's not avoiding conflict. She's actually facing conflict. It's just that conflict brings more conflict, or drama brings more drama. It's like a never-ending saga, and I don't know why. Okay, for her, we have the Four of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Five of Swords. We have the Tower, and we have the Six of Wands. And then we have from the Oracle, we have the card of Hurt Healing. Hurt Healing. Hurt Healing. Yeah, she needs to get a lot of healing in her chakra, in her heart chakra. It's very blocked. I think that emotionally, there's a lot of things that she has certain like there's something about relationships. Probably getting married or having a family, like a traditional family. She's having certain like different points of view about this, and maybe people fight her for this, and she defends herself. She's like, well, this is how I feel. I don't want to get married, or I don't want to have a family now, and maybe people judge her for this. Because I can see that she's like, you know, it's my life. Like I'm looking for my own way of being happy. And there's something about, you know, maybe there's something about Taeyeon that she's like, you know, this is why I want to be alone, because somehow, you know, the communities or the families or the groups that she has been part of, there's always chaos, or there's always a lot of conflict, a lot of heavy discussions, a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, a lot of like arguments while you're having dinner or at people's birthday parties or birthday celebrations. Like, just people cannot be okay or just chill. No, there's a lot of like. Did she say something about the group? Did she say something about the group, about her having certain issues with the group? Or that she's not going to resume activities with the group or something like this? Because I can kind of see it here, and I'm like, you know, I see a sort of hiatus, like Four of Swords, you know, Ten of Cups. And then in the middle, I have her like the Five of Swords, and she's like looking at the Ten of Cups, you know, she's like this. She's like, she's like, I'm done with playing the happy family. You know, there's something about her being like, I retire of that. Like, I don't want to play like I don't want to play house. I don't want to play like we are so happy and so united and so in harmony, because I have my opinions and we are not a family. Something like this. So I wonder what happened, because she seems like if you ask her, if you somehow let it slide, like somehow a bit of like a question, she would answer. I can see her kind of maybe making a very abrupt comment about union, about family or something like this, and just maybe, you know, people be like, oh my god, like you sound so bitter, like what happened to you? But she has something to say about this, about like, you know, I will not be part of this sort of facade, you know. She's against this. And yeah, we have the Tower then, and the Six the Six of Wands. So I think that she's going to somehow destroy maybe the old image of herself, or there's going to be some old structures or some things that no longer associate with her, or things about her life that maybe people are like, oh yeah, I know her because she's like this, or I know her because she's always been like this. And somehow she's like, you know what? No, I'm not like this anymore. I'm a different person. I'm actually against these things that I said that I agree on in the past. So there's something about her sort of destroying her old image or her old, experiences. I mean, like, well, I'm sort of burning this bridge. No, no, I'm not in there anymore. No, I will not do this anymore. No, I will not work like this anymore. I don't see a company. So I don't think that it's about SM, but I think that maybe it's about her. She wants a sort of liberation. She wants to break through from something, but she's so angry. This is why you have the Five of Swords. She's so against something, and she's going to say it. She's going to speak up, or she's going to say something that maybe people are going to be like, "Wow, we didn't know that you were against this." It can shock a lot of people. But I think that for her, it can get uncomfortable at some point, maybe a very harsh truth. I don't know, the harsh truth about, the industry or about companies or about um, past relationships. I don't know. I think it has to do with marriage, but I don't know. And at the end, with the Six of Wands, I see, a very successful exit of hers. Her sort of, dropping the bomb and being like, yeah, this is no longer like this. This is not like this. This is not my reality anymore. I don't do this. I'm done with this. And then she's walking away like a champion. She's like, yeah, finally, I said it. I said it. I done it. I closed this. There's, like, I think that she maybe needs to clarify something, or she needs to state something that, because it's like she had been waiting for a lot of years to maybe say something. And she's like, well, this year is the year. And I see her, somehow achieving something and just, walking away very proud of herself and feeling like, now I can move on. Now I can go to bigger things, or now I can do better, because I can be happier even. Because there's certain foundations, or there's certain realities that she cannot sustain anymore. So she's like, I have to say the truth. I have to tell the truth. She's angry about something, so she's going to spill it. She's like, if you don't have to wait for the cards to tell you, she's going to say it. But yeah, her healing. See, she needs. I think that probably speaking up or showing a bit of discomfort or a bit of aggression, I would say, is a way of her also trying to heal her hurt, her emotions, or maybe all those times where she had so many feelings, or her heart was so vulnerable and open, and people just played with her, or people played with her emotions or with her ability of being very loving, of being very giving, and I think that now she is tough, or she has toughened herself, because, people had played with her heart. So there's something about her having like a sort of, you know, I don't see her like, oh, I'm coming to destroy someone, but I think that she's like, I'm done with sustaining illusions. I'm going to let people know how it is, or what you can no longer expect from me. Also setting boundaries. So yeah. Wait, I want to see if I have this name correctly. Kenshi Yonezu is the name. Yonezu. This is a Japanese singer. A Japanese singer. Okay, for Japanese singer Kenshi Yonezu. Mm. Okay, for this actor, Japanese singer Kenshi Yonezu, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Four of Wands in the middle, we have the Magician, and then we have the Three of Wands. Very nice, very active. And then we have from the Oracle, it says freedom. Freedom. So, yeah, I actually can see how, you know, this year is going to be great for this singer, for Kenshi Yonezu. It's just that he's a very interesting person or individual because, you know, with the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, you know, I wonder if in the past or maybe, you know, very early in his life, if he had issues with, you know, money, stability, with abundance, because, you know, there comes success, but there also comes the fear of losing, you know, the fear of like, you know, I'm afraid that, you know, if I say something, I'm going to lose this. And what if I lose this? You know, him sort of, you know, being able to maybe have like a successful start. But then, you know, the more successful he gets, or maybe the more he gets good results, the more he can tend to sabotage himself or think that he doesn't deserve it. So he can get a bit in his feelings. But actually, the cards here are very active. You know, the Four of Wands, is he married? The Four of Wands in the middle is about celebration, him celebrating a lot this year, being very much also exposed, you know. I like it. I like it. I like it. Very fun, very fiery, very like active, maybe on social media or active with other artists, like festivals. Like, does he sing in festivals? Does people know if he sings in festival? Or because it feels like the reading is very alive. You know, it's very much on the outdoors of life. It's not so much like, oh well, you know, I stay at a studio and I just sleep in there, I eat in there, and I'm a sort of like nomad. I'm like an introvert. You know, I don't go out. No, I think that he's more like this kind of artist that he needs to go out and touch some grass, literally. But he's super fun. I don't know what kind of music he does, but it seems like he brings a lot of people together. This is why I wanted to ask if he plays at sort of festivals or something like this, or if he's like some kind of DJ or something like this, because I do have the Magician. I have the Magician and the Three of Wands. So C is about expansion, it's about him traveling, it's about him, you know, being like the master of ceremonies, being at the center of a sort of performance, or if he has to be part of an event, you know, he's one of these people that he's like, well, you know, I will present this person or this act, or maybe he interviews also people. I think that he's really good with words, or maybe he's a good communicator. I think that he can do a lot, you know, not just singing. He probably can host at the same time. So, or maybe act, being like an actor. Is he an actor and a singer? But there's a lot of possibility. A lot of doors are open for him. A lot of doors are open. And also I think that this year is going to be very active, but also very fun. You know, I see him having a lot of fun, just being in different places with different people, feeling very social. Yeah, and I have the card of freedom. So I wonder if he sort of like, if he achieved this sort of freedom not so long ago, if he was able to break free maybe from an old contract or something like this that somehow allowed him to now experience this freedom. But yeah, in 2026, I see him just, being able to move the way he wants to move, or maybe to perform or to do things creatively the way he wants to make them, very much in control. I think that he's just very enthusiastic. There's something that I wouldn't be able to tell you like, okay, this is going to be super stable. No, because I see that he goes with the flow of opportunities. And him as the magician, he's really good at convincing people. So I think that it's more like networking, like, oh, I want to do this. Like, do you let me do this? Or can I come with you? Or can I join you? Or can I join this event? It feels like it's all about networking. It's more like who gets the invitation, or who gets, the contact, and who knows who, more than, like I said at the beginning, like, oh, I want to sit down and just, compose a song. No, I think that him is more about, who like more about social media, maybe exposure, a lot of exposure. I see a lot of the summer vibe. Summer times is going to be perfect for him because he's going to be able to show himself more. But yeah, I don't know if he lost, like, I don't see a justice, so I don't want to say like he lost money, but something happened before all this happiness. Something happened with, maybe he lost an opportunity that he thought that the opportunity was like golden, or he lost a bit of money. Maybe he did lend someone money, and it's just, there's something about like, oh, I'm sorry for this, or I was very sad because of this. But we have the fourth one, so I can see his energy being like, I can start over, and I'm going to start over doing something very fun or doing something very uplifting. He probably also is around other people and other very maybe influential people that they sort of, let him participate. He's not alone. But yeah, I think that he is, I don't know why I want to say he's sort of a traveler, like he travels for opportunities or he moves, depends of, where the action is. With all these ones, I can sort of see him, adapting and going, where the crowd goes, he goes. And with the kind of freedom, definitely a year of a lot of, detachment. He's not tied to a responsibility or a schedule. It seems like he just gets up and go. So yeah. So if you're a fan of him, you can give me a feedback if he's like this. But it feels very fun, very refreshing, very outgoing. Okay. I'm going to continue with the last one, that is Nmixx Haewon. Let's see for Nmixx Haewon. Okay. Okay, for Nmixx Haewon, we have Death card, we have the Page of Cups, we have the Nine of Pentacles in the middle, we have the Ten of Swords, and we have the Three of Cups. And then I have the card of Prosperity. Prosperity for Haewon. Is she like the magnet? Is she the youngest? Because I think that in the past, there has been like a sort of transformation in her energy. With the Death card and the Page of Cups, there's something about her ending something. I don't know if it's ending, is about her somehow, learning to be tougher. There's something about her being like, I don't want to be the trusting anymore or that sweet anymore. Or maybe there was a change in her image. Maybe she used to be like the dreamer or the one that it feels like she was like the innocent one or something like this. Or maybe the concept for her was like this, very sweet, very, yet I want to say innocent. I don't know why. But I think that something changed her. Something happened drastically that it ended. It ended. Somehow it's like, well, not anymore. Now you have a new identity, you have a new concept, like it's done. This sweet, loving, dreamy kind of attitude is, you are no longer this. And I kind of can see it because I have the Nine of Pentacles in the middle. So it's about individuality, and it's also about maybe her this year being more, maybe trying to get more opportunities for herself, trying to get more individual opportunities. I think that she probably in the past she had been trusting, or she had trusted the wrong people, or I don't know, maybe she was like a bit naive about certain things in the industry. And also with the card of prosperity, the Nine of Pentacles, there's a huge potential of her individually, having an opportunity to shine on her own and maybe getting more prosperity than actually what she has with the group, probably. I think that maybe she's also starting to understand this year that it's okay to be, more ambitious about herself. It's about, somehow, wanting more for yourself, or in knowing how to ask for an opportunity for yourself, and also just being able to maybe do things individually without relying on others. Because the talent, she does have it. She does have the talent, or she does have the charisma, or she does have, these different attributes that can attract opportunities. It's just that maybe, in the past she was, a bit dependent more on others, and something changed. I don't know if it's a company that decided that she had to change, or they are about to decide that there are certain concepts that are about to change drastically, and they want her to be more ambitious. They want to put her in the center, or they want to make her like a sort of main character. So yeah, she's going to have to learn to be a bit much more selfish, which I think that is going to do well. I think that she has like inner conflicts about this. She's in nature, she's very sweet. She's a giver, she's a very sweet person. So I think that for her to focus only on herself, or to be like, oh, well, I want this for me. I think that she's not that kind of individual. She's not that hungry for, attention, or for, it's just that, maybe there's a potential in her and they see it, that maybe her image, maybe her talents, they want to explode that talent. So, and it's available. She has the potential to be this sort of main character. So yeah, maybe this year is about learning to embrace this, and also taking the prosperity that comes with this. Maybe it's going to be very prosperous for her. So yeah, because I have the Ten of Swords. I don't know if I read for Nmixx for 2026, but the Ten of Swords and the Three of Cups. I think that there's something that it feels very like oh, we are so tired, like we are so uh, emotionally and mentally, we are so tired, we are so defeated. Maybe the group, or this is the way she sees the group is going to go through certain challenges or limitations or criticism even. So I think that she's like, but they are my friends. With the Three of Cups, it feels like more than a group, they are like a group of friends. It feels like the friendship is there. So it feels for her, it feels very sad, or it feels very discouraging to see how people maybe praise her, or they are going to be able to be like, oh look, you're doing great, but when it comes to supporting the group, there's less of that. So maybe there's like a division, there's like the fandom is divided, or there's something that they're not going to be happy about the group. So yeah, it's going to be a bit bittersweet for her, and I think that she worries about the group a lot. This is why maybe she's like, she thinks of others before thinking about herself. But honestly, what she can do is to keep, also embracing prosperity and the possibility to keep working, even if it's to have to do it alone or having to focus more on herself. I think that there's like a huge flow of, money, opportunities, new ideas, new propositions. The prosperity is knocking on her door, so she has to take it. She has to take it, because it's about self-value and self-esteem as well. If she doesn't take it, it feels like she's not honoring herself and her talents as well. Okay, guys. Today I'm leaving. It's very early. I usually stay a bit, and I don't know if there's some of you still here, but I ran a bit before reading, but I have to go to my doctor's appointment today. So yes, probably on Sunday, since I don't have any food prepared, maybe I can continue with Pisces, reading for Pisces artists. So if you want to leave your favorite Pisces idol, if you haven't, you can still use the last post that I created, and I will take it from there. But probably, on Sunday, since, now it's Friday, it's like, it's going to be very short in time. I will just, get connected at the usual hour, and we can chat. We can, I can chat with you, just catch up, with what has been going on in the past weeks. We can talk about K-pop in general, and then I can pull some cards. But yeah, now, now I'm in a rush. This was like a sort of express kind of live stream. But I thank you guys for being here, for the recommendations, and thank you so much for the likes as well. But yeah, thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Fluffy, for being here. And I'll see you on Sunday, okay? Bye.